The debate on the finance bill of 2023 continues to rage on. And most recently, we've seen the president use a tone that hasn't been welcomed by many, with many believing that he's using intimidation and threats to see through the financial bill of 2023. So how is this going to unfold in the fullness of time? That forms the basis of our conversation today here on yet another informative edition of Business Glide, your go-to show on matters public policy, business and economics at large, hosted by yours truly, Richard Mwenja. Indeed, always a pleasure to have you on board. With me on this conversation is none other than this gentleman, the first of his name, East Africa's renowned public scholar, Herman Manyora. Great to see you, sir. It's been a while, 1 week away.
We were in Lombe while you were in Moisbridge.
And actually, I'm a little bit under the weather. You have to pardon me.
I don't know why you missed Lombe.
I mean, I was told that village is...
We are going back. I appealed to people to, because of the poverty we saw where people were sleeping, I've appealed to people to give us blankets and mattresses. I've already received donations from some people. So soon we'll be going back to Lombe to give mattresses and
I also want to see that mango tree that you're going to retire
Yes, the
under.
mango tree, yes.
It's already there. Judge saw it?
Yes. We did a show, several shows under the mango tree. Correct.
But then again, there is talk that you're eyeing an elective seat in Kega County.
No.
That's why you're doing all this.
No.
The charity thing.
I'm beyond such a small things. I'm a big man. If I wanted elections, I'll go for president. These other things are small.
You've seen what happened to Wajakoya's spectacular failure.
No.
That could actually
Wajakoya is Wajakoya, Manyora is Manyora. If I offer myself to run, you'll see me receiving millions of dollars. There are many people asking me, both local and international. They know I can change this country. So you're asking me to go in Viga. What do I change in Viga? Let me change Kenya and then Viga can be a beneficiary.
The big boys from Viga, Mudavadi, whom you cannot match their milestones.
These are just fellows.
All right, very well. There you have it. Let's go straight into today's conversation. And we are talking about developing issues around the financial bill of 2023. And very recently, while gracing an event among the MAC community, we saw the president say that he's really eager to see those members of parliament who will vote against the finance bill of 2023. And from many quarters, it was believed that he's using the language, the tone of threats and intimidation, and literally more of sabotage. Do you think that the president is justified to use such a tone when he's commenting on matters finance bill of 2023?
You know, there's so much opposition to this bill. I would not blame the president for reacting the way he's reacting. He's so determined on the bill, and yet there's so much opposition that even you could lose your cool. Either you fight on the way he's fighting on, or you'll find yourself, if you don't charge like a rhino on this bill, you'll give in. So the president has two options. To give in to public pressure, political pressure from Raila, public pressure from Kenyans, or to charge like a rhino. And I think he decided to charge like a rhino on the finance bill.
On the finance bill.
So I understand. Yes.
Then again, in the same context, we are also seeing somewhat his deputy, Rigathi Gachagua, also charging like a rhino to a point that he's saying that those who will not support the finance bill, then they'll not receive some of the development carrots, such as roads to their places and so on and so forth. Which begs the question then, is there some sense of democracy in development and all that stuff?
I think people are not getting what this Ruto and Gachagua are saying.
What are they saying?
They are simply saying this finance bill carries the money you'll need. So if you don't pass it, where do you expect development to come from? It's simple like that. You want the roads and the finance bill is carrying the money. Let me tell you something which Kenyans don't see. I've heard them accuse me of saying the finance bill should pass. Something that somebody has seen me. I'm beyond being seen. Let me tell you this. This housing thing is a red herring. The red herring, this one here.
In the finance bill.
The president is charged because there are things there which is pushed to do. But they have put the housing thing which everybody is reacting to. But the main thing that is making the president push for this bill is inside there. I don't want to mention it.
It's more of a decoy.
Yeah, this is housing the decoy. And everybody is directing there. That's what I'm telling you in the opposition. They are not, in my view, they are not up to the task.
They are not up to the task.
They are not getting. Ruto is smart. In fact, too smart for them. The housing is not the thing. There are things pushed there by IMF. Stupid. Those are the things. But the noise about housing is to distract.
Divert attention.
Yes. but the opposition is not seeing it.
Which begs the question.
So when you attack the whole finance bill, you are playing in Ruto's hands. When you attack housing, you are playing in his hands. I'm telling you, the people like Raila, they need advisors. People who can see things from far for what they are. The games being played against them, they are not seeing them. It's not the housing. It is those things inside, like fuel levy, which these guys have been told you must put there.
It has to see the light of day.
Correct.
Which actually begs the question, sir. Do you think that the opposition has an alternative policy agenda, or it's more of just opposing the finance?
They don't seem to have.
They don't seem to have?
No, they don't seem to have.
Are you questioning their thinking?
Because look, I did a video and people have attacked me. Many people have called me from Azimio. When you choose to oppose something in whole, in totality, you then are opposing it for political reasons or for the sake of opposing. But if you want to conquer, you isolate one thing and concentrate on it and show why it is wrong.
Substantiating.
Like housing, for example. I was asking in that video, why are we so bothered about housing, 3%, what?
A doctor might not need a house.
Has somebody asked themselves the bigger question which nobody is asking, because they are opposing for the sake of opposing? The opposition is opposing the finance bill and housing for politics and for the sake of opposing. If they had bothered to be critical, they will ask Ruto like this. This 3% housing, what do you want to do with the money?
That is the question.
What is the money being used for in the housing? Because the houses will be constructed by private
Developers.
businessmen. Why do you want to give money to private people to construct houses and then they sell them? PPP, what's the role of government there? To provide land. You don't need money, government already has land. Otherwise, you are going to tax Kenya's money, then land that should cost 200 million ends up costing 3 billion.
Inflated.
You see, the opposition is losing it by opposing for the sake of opposing. If I was the one opposing house, I will ask the president, what do you need money for in this housing bit? We identify land, a developer goes there. If there are services required, we will get commercial loans for those services. Everything that goes into that housing project must be reflected in the house. So nobody is going to exaggerate or sewage lines or what. No.
Rehabilitation.
The developer must know he will have to recoup his savings. So he will be part of the negotiations for the money that will go into providing services. And even if land is necessary, once the developer knows this will affect his final product and his investment, those exaggerated government deals will not be there. So you see, these guys are opposing something for the sake of opposing, for political mileage. But if they are critical to examine, they will ask the president and anybody else, what do you need that money for?
Maybe that.
Si ni watu wanajenga hizo manyumba, wana biashara. Wewe hii pesa unakata wa Kenya unapeleka wapi? Unataka kupatia nani hizo pesa?
The opposition has.
Who do you want to give that money? As a businessman is developing. If government wants to get money, they should give it to National Housing Corporation, which has been starved from the first generation SAPs in the 1980s. When IMF told us do not give money to National Housing Corporation, which is responsible for all these slums. They don't even understand the problem. Not the government, not the opposition. These slums developed partly because of rural-urban migration, but also the National Housing Corporation, which was making housing possible, was starved of funds because of IMF in the early 1980s, because of SAPs. So if you are getting money, government should, even if government in its budget provided 50 to 100 billion to National Housing Corporation, you'll see how many houses will come up, unknown to many people. NHSC was building houses and already had built houses in the 60s and 70s across the country, including divisional headquarters. Unaenda kwenye, all these Utiende, Ayani, all these are National Housing Corporation, and they are in Kakamega, they are in Meru, they are everywhere. Even below district level, up some divisional levels, the houses are there, projects. So government will just give them 50 billion this year, 50 billion next year in the budget. So you see what I'm trying to say? The moment the opposition doesn't understand the thing well, they can't play the game they don't understand. They don't understand the tricks inside that finance bill.
Very well.
And they think they will benefit by merely opposing. They will not, because the bill will pass.
It will pass?
It will pass.
You think so?
The bill will pass comfortably with a good majority.
Really?
Yeah, of course. And when I say the bill will pass, it's not to say I support it. You know, sometimes I don't even understand even people who are going to school. Manyora now supports the bill.
Yeah.
I don't have to support it. But it will pass.
It will pass. It will see the light of day.
Of course.
But then again, just as we come to the conclusion of it all,
yes,
we've seen the opposition take issue with the 3% deduction of one's basic salary towards the housing agenda. And for the side of, say, Senator Ledamo Lekina, he has said that this indeed is a scandal in waiting, the housing levy thing.
Yes.
Do you believe that the problems we've seen under NHIF, NSSF could actually be the same,
of
that will be
course,
transferred
of
to
course,
the housing
so
levy?
Ledama is doing better than these other guys, his colleagues in the opposition. He's now identifying where the problem lies. People want to create money they will eat. You are opposing for the sake of opposing. Identify something about it. Manyora is asking, what is this money going to do? Because the houses will be built by private people. Ledama is saying, you people, you are creating a fund such as NSSF of those days, where you are going to steal. That's how you approach a problem like this.
Who will be the men and women entrusted with the money?
And somebody else should be asking. I've also asked, why do you want to cap? You say after 2,500 you don't pay more. Sasa ndio umefika kwa watu wako na pesa unakataa kukata. Umekata hasla hapa mwenye 10,000. Lakini ukifika kwa mdosi anapata 1,300, 400, 500. Unasema utaki kukata Why are you capping it? The only reason to cap is you will offend the employer. So you can now say it will be 3%, no limit of your salary. The higher the better. We want your money. But for the employer, we cap it at 2,500. So the employer will only top up for you up to 2,500. Lakini wewe utakata mpaka 1,100 to build the fund. Secondly, why do you want to bother a person who earns less than 50,000 or 30,000? These are constructive ways of looking at an issue. But when you oppose the way the opposition is opposing and politicize and weaponize it, you are bound to lose. And they will lose. They will not get anything out of it.
They won't?
No, they will not.
Is that a losing battle, you say?
Of course. They have lost.
We wait to see how that will unfold the fullness of time. And actually, one more time, I wish to apologize. I'm slightly under the weather. My voice projection, of course, it can be heard, not really in the best form yet. But then again, we are still here trying to bring you the best in matters, public policy analysis, business and economics. So make sure you tune in to our other editions coming here on the channel. But right about now, before I leave, time for Fun of the Week. It is none other than this gentleman, Auditor Kazungu Kigodho from here in Nairobi.
Kazungu
Kigodho.
Thank you very much for being part of us. Thank you very much.
Actually, he just lost the father about a week ago in Moisbridge.
My sympathies and our sympathies. Our sympathies. God will be there to make you strong.
Definitely. We pray that they find solace in God during these times.
Yes.
Very well. Until next time on Business Glide, I'm Richard Mwenja. Always a pleasure to have you on board. Up next on your screen is the Business Glide African Proverb of the Day.